Welcome back to the review space. This is going to be my review for Raw last night, September 12, 2016. Let's get going. Mick Foley, Charlotte, Dana Brooke, Sasha Banks, and Bayley have a talking promo segment in the middle of the ring. We get pure tension between Dana and Charlotte, and even some competitive talk between Sasha and Bayley. Ultimately, this resulted with Dana slapping Charlotte to the face, and Mick Foley announcing a triple threat between Sasha, Dana, and Bayley up next for the #1 contendership for the women's title at Clash of Champions. Whoever wins gets to face Charlotte. And then the triple threat gets going. It was a pretty cool match. Some pretty good spots between all the different wrestlers. I do think that Dana still looked kind of awkward in the ring, especially her offense. Dana Brooke, every time she'd pick up her opponent, she just looked really awkward. I don't know she just looks kind of clunky. But anyway, she does look very animated when she sells for her opponents. I like her selling when she gets hit. She just has a very she would fall, and just the way she would take bumps. Sasha got the pinfall on Bayley and heads into the rematch for the Women's Championship against Charlotte. We get a few backstage promos, Charlotte telling Dana to get her bags, the Puerto Rican guys interacting with Golden Truth and Big Cass and Enzo, Kevin Owens speaking to Tom Phillips and getting his name wrong again, and another funny Chris Jericho promo with Tom Phillips. He said, he's a stupid idiot. And I just love that it thing. I mean, that it thing was over. I think Chris Jericho was getting chants. He was getting it chants. Bo Dallas squashing a jobber. The crowd chanting, "Let's go jobber, let's go jobber," which cracked me up. That was hilarious. A really funny chant. The jobber was more over than Bo. I think it's because Bo has been... Man, nobody takes him seriously. He was in that social outcasts. He was buried for a long time, and they just never did anything with him. Chris Jericho and Sami Zayn appear in the highlight reel, with Sami Zayn getting Chris Jericho with, "You're just Kevin Owens, bitch." And that was a great line, and the crowd was like, "Ooh, that's not PG." Sami Zayn mentioned different names that they looked up to when he was coming up, guys like Dean Malenko and Eddie Guerrero, and of course, somebody that was severely missing from that list was Chris Benoit, who was part of the New Japan 4, including Chris Jericho. It was either All Japan 4 or New Japan 4 back in the 90s, when all those guys like wrestled overseas in Japan and in Mexico and around the world. So it was the 4 guys: Jericho, Benoit, Eddie, Dean Malenko, and they were all in WCW at one point. So they were kind of seen as like the 4 indie guys that were really hot across the world. They were doing big things back in the day. Sheamus and Cesaro have another best-of-7 match. They go back and forth. Cesaro counters, the Irish Cross turns it into a dirty rope pin. Cesaro gets a second win over Sheamus. Apparently he won against Sheamus in a UK tour. That match actually looked a lot more interesting than the stuff that they've had on live TV. But apparently the winner gets a title shot later in the future. I would guess that Cesaro will win this eventually and take on Kevin Owens for the Universal Championship. When that will be, I have no idea. If it's Survivor Series, perhaps, maybe it's just on a Raw, regular Raw TV episode. Nia Jax takes on Alicia Fox. She dominates Alicia, swings her against the barricades, and then she spears Alicia through the barricade near the bell ringer. Nia got cheers and ovation from the crowd afterwards. They really were digging it. They were like, "Yeah, she's a monster. What a beast." My God, it's amazing too with Alicia Fox. She's been in this company seemingly for many years, like almost a decade, or almost 10 years or something like that. She's been there for a long time. They haven't really done much with her. She's a former Divas champion way back in like 2010, like 6 years ago. And that was back when she was feuding with people like Eve, and those kind of, Eve's been gone from WWE for a long, long time. And Alicia Fox still ticking, she's still around, but they haven't done anything with her. I wish that they would push her, do something with her, give her a storyline, something. I have no idea. And they kept her on the roster for that long. What are they doing with this girl? She's become like the modern day Layla, except unlike Layla, she hasn't done nearly as much as Layla. I think Layla got more feature. But anyway, Gallows and Anderson defeating Kofi and Xavier Woods, heading into Clash of Champions. This was pretty much a basic, like, we beat the champion, so now we're credible, and they're probably gonna win. And I mean, I wish they would. Kofi and Xavier and the New Day, I should say, they've been tag team champions well over a year, which is good for them. I don't know what they're gonna do after this tag team title reign. I don't know if they'll just keep going as a 3-man faction New Day thing. I mean, I don't know where they go from here, because it's a good thing for them. If they split them up and they go their separate ways and everything, I don't know if that's going to be a good thing for them. I would assume that they would just keep the New Day as a trio. Jinder Mahal taking on Jack Swagger, and gets a surprising victory. His finishing move looks like a basic neckbreaker, like a slingshot neckbreaker. That's what I would call it. Wait, that's not a slingshot name. I don't know what it's called, but it's like a running forward thing, and it's almost like an RKO, but he does it from the front. His new gimmick is about being a man of peace. He's a man of peace. He went to the Himalayas and everything. I always thought that Jinder had potential, but he probably needed a better gimmick that wasn't an Indian, like stereotypical India kind of gimmick where he has to have the turban on and he's got to have the theme music, and it's just like he doesn't have much traction with this gimmick. The Shining Stars took on Enzo and Kaz, Big Kaz. Well, just one of the Shining Stars against Enzo, actually, and it was just a one-on-one. It was a decent match. I think Epico got the cheating pinfall thingy with Primo holding his legs down. He held Enzo's legs down. And they get another, wow, they got a victory. Wow, my God. They got momentum, and I'm sure they're going to lose to somebody else. They're probably going to... I mean, again, a crappy gimmick. It's just like with the Jinder Mahal thing. They just don't have much going with that gimmick. It's not going to get them anywhere. It's not going to sell them T-shirts, If I was fucking booking all this, if I was in charge of WWE, I would give these guys a way better gimmick. I would give Jinder a better gimmick. I would give the fucking Shining Stars a better gimmick. And not make them feel like jobbers. Even if they're really talented, they can speak English great, they can cut promos good, and it's like they have personality. But give them a good gimmick, something that's more taken seriously. And I don't know. Roman Reigns going up against Kevin Owens in the main event. They got a good match. At some point, Seth Rollins interfered and attacked Kevin Owens for a DQ win. So Kevin Owens got the DQ win over Roman Reigns. Mick Foley comes out, restarts the match. Roman and Kevin trading signature moves back and forth. Rusev distracting Roman. Eventually, Kevin hitting the pop-up powerbomb in 1, 2, 3. Gets the pinfall. Kevin defeats Roman Reigns kind of legitimately, at least in the middle of the ring. He got the win. Earlier in the show, Mick Foley told Seth that if he interfered, there'll be consequences. I feel like the match against Kevin Owens will be some kind of stipulation, maybe a hardcore match or a steel cage or some shit like that. I was also thinking that Mick Foley will include Roman in the match as a Clash of Champions anyway. He'll be like, okay, well, because you interfered, we're going to have Roman in there, but that would defeat the purpose of restarting the match. And, kind of ruining Kevin Owens' win. Rusev attacking Roman afterwards, and we will probably get Roman Reigns against Rusev for the US title at Clash of Champions. Rusev looking dominant over Reigns. Overall, this was a pretty decent episode of Raw. Still felt very, very long, 3 hours or so. And as much as I enjoyed Raw a lot more in the past couple of weeks, it's been more enjoyable after the draft in many ways. It's still a very long show. Alright, so that's going to be it for the Raw review, September 12, 2016. Check out the channel for more WWE related videos, top 10s, and all that good shit. And subscribe to the channel. Until next time, peace.